Now here's something really wonderful. If you live in Dublin, you'll probably get used to seeing this. It's the little egret. And the little egret used to be a very rare creature. In fact, it's an exotic bird to most Irish people. It only appeared in the 1990s. If you live in Dublin, and especially if you live near the beach, you are probably well used to seeing these. You can see dozens of them together sometimes. But they were extremely rare and exotic visitors up until the 1990s. They just appeared, one or two of them appeared, and there was a great fuss and everybody wanted to see them. They were really excited. And then they started to sort of stay, and then they started to breed. And so now we actually have loads of Irish born little egrets. And these birds now are considered really exotic. They're like tiny, but they're not tiny, but they're like small herons. And except they're solid white. And they often have this beautiful blue ring around the eye, and they have black legs and yellow feet, which is really funny because sometimes when you look at them walking on long grass you can't see their feet. Now this one is hunting, and it's probably hunting fish or frogs. And what they do, if you look at what he's doing now, they kick the mud at the bottom of, see, like that little stamping movement, causing things to come up, little insects and things. They eat insects as well, and they watch very carefully. And a lot of their hunting method is to wait very calmly. Now this is a very special bird for another reason. And look at that, it nearly got something. But the other reason is that Birdwatch Ireland and other groups like that, and the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, which is in the UK, and it used to be Ireland as well because we were in the UK up until 1921. But what actually happened was this bird became so rare because it has beautiful white plumes, a kind of a white crest feather, and they were using those feathers to put in hats, fancy hats, and as a result of fancy hats the birds were hunted, and they started to be hunted to extinction. Oh, look at that now, it's got something, got a fish I think there. But what happened was, because of the fancy hats and the birds going extinct, I think there were only a handful of them left in the very south of England, and there were none in Ireland at all. They'd been hunted to extinction here, if there were many here at all. But what they did was they set up a special group to protect that bird, just that bird, the little egret. But the result was they started to have some success with it, and gradually they kind of saved it. Then it just barely hung on. They kept it alive basically, but they weren't. There were very few of them. However, then they decided to start expanding and protecting all sorts of other birds, and so they set up the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds after they're initially trying to save that one bird. And look at it, still stamping and hunting. Look at that. Oh, got something there. No, got a weed, but it probably got a fish on or a frog on the end of the weed. Now if you're near Blackrock, I actually saw about 20 of these together one day, which is a big shock. This one is on its own. It's done well for itself. So keep an eye out.